What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome in to your immediate reaction to the bleep show that was the Coppa Italia Final. Juventus Inter, Inter pulling out a ridiculous 4-2 victory over Juventus. It's the only way I can really get into. We'll talk about it. I'll give my feelings on the breakdown. I feel like me even saying a 4-2 victory seems ridiculous at this point. But with me, as always, is my guy Alejandro Fancello. I'd ask you how you're doing, but I know how you're doing. How are you doing?
I don't know. As always, like I'm not shocked, surprised. It's not new, so it's the same
No,
shit.
yeah. No, I think. I mean, it was, and I mean that's the one thing to look. I mean, it's a story. It's a tale of. I would say. I almost was gonna say. Oh, I planned to enter into this saying a tale of two halves, but it's really not. It's a tale of three different parts of it. The first half was what the first half was. You got a lot of what you expected and you're used to with Juventus. Then you got a nice little shock there, a nice little surprise to start the second half. Vlahovic and it was. Did Alexandro get credited with that goal? Because I saw some people trying to attribute it to Morata. I don't know, and then obviously on Handanovic, whoever it was. Anyway, it was what it was. They ended up getting those goals, taking a 2-1 lead, giving really Juventus fans, I would say, a lot of false hope going into the rest of the match. I kind of had a feeling. There was always that negative feeling in the pit of my stomach that something would go wrong. I had no... I guess we all have kind of a bit of an inkling, given our history. Juventus against Inter this season, seeing the way some of these calls have been made. I know that second one was not... It was Delict's fault. To be honest, but at the same time, some of these calls that get made by the refs, and then Juventus don't get the same calls. And then going off of that as well, just crushing defeat there at the end. Just putting extra salt in the wound there at the end there with Perisic scoring that to make it a 4-2 victory over Juventus. What are your thoughts on that? So let's get into that. Let's get into. We'll break this down a bit more, but I want to hear your opinions.
Within within the 90 minutes, my voice is gone. Within the 90, oh my god,
I'm sure he's been doing a lot of yelling, as have I, trying to keep the curse words down to a minimum. Having a 2-year-old, he copied me one time dropping an F-bomb, and then I realized I had to calm it down a little bit.
no, within the 90 minutes, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
Easily. We started off embarrassing. It was like nobody knew it was a final. Like the goal we conceded, I could have scored with all that time, but I got. It was sad, not surprising, but sad. After that, we dominated. We didn't score in the first half because, well, Handanovic, Dybala, I don't know what his problem is. We know what his problem is.
Yeah, we know what his problem is. It's
should have been 1-1. We come up in the second half, firing. We were all over them. 2-1, full control, and then Allegri comes in. I tweeted it out the moment it happened. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing? You're in full control. Why go with 5 at the back, basically? For what reason? Like Bernardeschi was finally being effective for once." You take him off for Bonucci. I can still not believe it. You invite the pressure, and the pressure was coming. Like that goal, like at some point that ball was gonna fall well. That was the feeling I was getting. It was just inviting pressure, sit back, when you were in full control. And the goal came. It wasn't a pen. Like I will say it once again. That was embarrassing, shocking. Like I can still not believe that was given a pen. And Vlahovic push in the first half was. And the second half was okay. Before Alexandro scored. That was okay. There was never a pen, by the way. And we should have won that game in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be acting like we never get a call in favor. Like that we would be hypocrites if we do that, In a season, in big moments, I remember, And then we as fans, we say, who cares? They are saying, who cares? So we cannot do that, We need to look at the bigger picture. It's not a one game, it's entire season. And it happened again. We can see the 2 goal, and we had nothing. just because the way we set up, absolutely nothing. Like, it was done. At that moment in time, we were done. It was over. You knew it. No chance.
I mean, I agree with you partly. I do agree with that. I think this season though, this season Juve have gotten almost no favorable calls, like that I can recall. Like it has not been one of those seasons. And maybe it's just because our players and the play and what Juventus has been this season. But I don't know. Maybe you get used to it in years past, but it definitely has not been what we've grown accustomed to. And it seems like, especially Inter, maybe they just try to play favorites to, you know, the team that are supposed to be better this season. If that makes sense. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Or it's
On
personal
paper,
bias.
they are the better team. Like, we shouldn't be stupid. But in the 90 minutes, again, it was like the home game. We should have won. We didn't. We have only ourselves to blame. We can talk about the ref.
Yeah.
But the ref didn't say in the 60th minute to Allegri, make the subs, go sit back, invite the pressure when you're dominating. That's not the ref. That's Allegri.
Yeah.
And again, people say, "Oh, that penalty." Who knows what would happen if that penalty wasn't was not called? We can sit here and say we won. We would have won. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. It was still 12 minutes to play or something, So we don't know. It wasn't a ban, by the way. It was shocking. It was horrendous. Horrible.
Yeah.
But it's a ban. After that, what you did after that, that's what we need to talk about in a final.
I mean, there are a lot of aspects to tackle this from, and I'm trying to get each one piece in my mind because, like, right now they're all flooding in the way my feelings I had. Obviously, the missed opportunities in the first half. You potentially, if you look at the way they were playing in the first few minutes of the second half, and then you combine it with the first half, they should have been up 3-1. 3-1 at the in the beginning, after the first 5 minutes or so in the second half, and then another problem was, and I think I tweeted out something of this along this line of momentum was all in Juventus's favor. Like all the momentum was there. You needed to bury them when you had the chance. What happened was they went up 2-1, and then they got comfortable. And then they went exactly doing what I think Allegri too, like you said, the substitutions came in, not right then, but they ended up coming in. And what happened was I think Allegri confused himself into thinking that he had a team defensively that he had during his first go around. That he feels like that he mistook that, I can lean into these guys and they'll just ride it out from here. We'll be able to drown them out a little bit and finish this 2-1, squeeze it out. There's that aspect. And then there's also if we're being honest to ourselves, this game, the game that we watched today, to me is the perfect culmination of the season. It literally is a summation of Juventus' season overall. There's parts, little tiny shimmers of hope, among an assortment of embarrassment, of just useless players, making giant mistakes and big moments, as well as guys just not showing up, and then the coach not doing his job. And that's what I look at a lot of this as. I look at it as just a reflection of the team and the season as a whole. I almost would even go to say that even if Juventus were to win this, it would have been nice. We'd be lying to ourselves a little bit. I feel like we'd probably be lying to ourselves a little bit. I'm not saying that we go in here and act like Juventus had a good season, but we'd be feeling a little bit better about ourselves than we should at this moment. And Juventus didn't need that. One of the things too, I saw a lot of people getting super excited and happy about Allegri, going off at the end of the game. It's fine. Maybe show that kind of fire the entire game. Maybe show that kind of fire during. Whatever you're doing in practice, whatever you're doing throughout the season. Show me a little bit of that. And I don't mean get thrown out. Yeah.
The thing is, we showed it in the second half. We came out with the 10th, winning that game.
Yeah.
That was that was our moment. But again, should have won in 90 minutes. We didn't. We conceded a pen, never a pen. Fine. It's still 40 minutes to play, and you do that. The leg, I protect him, not protect. Horrendous. No, absolutely no. That was a pen. If someone says that's not a pen, he's lying. That was a Stonewall pen. He extends his leg for no reason. Like, where was he going? He was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, what happened to me, and I don't know if it's the same kind of broadcast for you, but for our broadcast, it started off with they just showed the upper body. They only showed the arm, and that's what people were thinking it was about that. But then later on, they ended up showing the leg there at the end where he got him, and he did. The first one was BS. Martinez, the fact that you're able to go into VAR and look at that, and Martinez obviously hooks him with his own foot on purpose to get the pen, and the fact that you look at that, you see it, you visualize it, you review it for how long, and then you're still like, yeah, that's a penalty. That's abysmal. That's ridiculous. I don't know how that guy has a job. I don't know how, like, what it's this way with every sport. We need to start having where these referees are being held accountable. They need to be able to come. They need to come speak after games. The same as coaches do. The same as players do. Referees should have to do the same thing because they're getting paid good money to do that. Anyway. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, I'm trying to stay a little bit collected to try to do this video. To be honest, I had many emotions flowing through me throughout this game. The first half was a lot of anger, despair. I thought we were just going to come here. I mean, I am kind of yelling and screaming, but at the same time, it's a little bit of I almost just wish they would have just died at the end. Just died from the beginning. Knew what I was getting into. Don't give me this glimmer of hope. And that's what happened. That two, it should have been whatever. With Alexandro and then Dusan doing that, it was nice. But then just to see them completely quit on it, pulling guys like Bernadeschi. One of the things I want to ask you, where does this put you? This is like the big question, I guess. To me, this is the big question. How do you feel? And I know nothing's going to change. How do you feel about Allegri in this moment right now after this game? Because I said going into this game that it was going to be, this is kind of a do or die situation. It was like, it literally would change, I feel like, a lot of the feelings that fans and people have toward Allegri going into next season.
No, for me, no. Even if he had won it, like the mistakes he made this season are still there, and he did it again this today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, people can talk about the pen. You can do it, but you're like you're moving away from the main point, like the biggest issue, and it's individual errors from players, from coaching.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot do that. It's not gonna help us next season.
Yeah. Well, I guess the reason I go into it is like, how do you feel? Like, obviously, we're both in the belief. I mean, we know, I mean, they've done things that would shock me before and surprise me. He's not going anywhere. He's staying for another season. But you have to imagine the fire under his seat, whatever you call it, it's heating up a little bit. It's gotta be. Even, like, to me, I'd imagine, even with Agnelli, I can't imagine this sits okay with him. Watching what he watched today, watching that kind of performance, watching the entire season as a whole, it can't be good enough. I mean, I question myself multiple times today, and I know people have tweeted it out, and I think it's a reactionary kind of thing. But part of me is starting to wonder, like, where do I sit on this fence of, like, of all the results that you've gotten, of all the results that you've had through the last 3 seasons, and I understand it's been a decline. But at the same time, the results you've had from Sadi to Pirlo to him, this is the worst result we've had. This is the worst season.
This is the worst season we have. Like, obviously,
yeah.
There's no trophy. It's basically 4th place. It's the worst season we have. I think and people won't believe it. It's the worst squad we have. Yeah, you got Vlahovic, Zakaria. Yeah. Zakaria played. He was fit for 6 of the how many games?
Yeah.
Joined. Chiesa. I'm not making excuses, but the best players were not playing this season. Dybala never played, basically. Chiesa, and he wasn't good. That's on Allegri also. He wasn't good when he was playing Chiesa. So I'm not being an idiot. Like, I'm not moving away from it.
Yeah.
But this squad is bad. The coaching is very questionable. Because I don't want to say, in hindsight, the moment he made those subs, I tweeted it out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get it. I actually don't get it. What's the point? The more I think about it, the more I'm like, why? In that moment in time, you were dominating. They were not touching the ball, Inter. They needed to come. Let them come. Look at the goals we scored. Like, acres of space.
Yeah.
Let alone when they needed to come. But you sit back with 5. You get off your plate. Like in the in extra time, we had 3 attacking players on the pitch, no wingers.
Yeah.
Like, make that make sense. Like I don't know what the game plan was after we conceded that second goal. It was basically nothing. It was just vibing, and we vibed, and we know what. Like if we would have won, it wouldn't have changed the season for me. It's the same thing. It's bad.
I would
But
I personally would say I'd be feeling a lot differently. Like I mean I can tell you now when I say a lot differently. I guess what I mean is like that I noticed through those few minutes in the second half where Juve are leading, where it feels like hold on to this, hold on to it, go into it with something to put your hat on, kind of thing. Instead, we're going out embarrassed in the Coppa Italia, literally embarrassed. Basically, I understand VAR, penalties, whatever have you. I mean, it's a 4-2, victory for Inter, and then you're just playing literally. I mean, if you look throughout the season, basically, I would just say playing progressively worse against Inter every time you played them this season. It just got worse and worse and worse. And I don't even know if, this may be dramatic, but I don't know if I feel like bringing in new players, a couple guys that we're going to get this season. And I understand Arriva Bene made his comments saying that, nothing's going to happen to this Mercado. It's in January. I'm not buying that for a second. But if it's true.
Nothing big. I said nothing big, but like you cannot look at that squad and tell and say that. I'm sorry. And on top of that, losing the final 9 million down the drain. That's also like looking at those 90 minutes. No, that's the issue. Like looking at those 90 minutes. Like we're gonna talk about it for a while because it's done. The season's done. Wow. Like we'll talk about it moving forward.
Yeah.
How do you manage to lose that 90 minutes game? I still cannot. That's the issue. It's not refs. It's not. It's one game.
Yeah.
That's the issue. You have when you go down a goal, suddenly you can press. You can string passes together. You can create chances. When it's 2-2 and the other team has momentum, you're stuck. You have no idea what to do. You cannot string passes together. Like it's like that's an issue.
Yeah.
And even if we would have won that game within 90 minutes, it's still an issue. Because we live from game to game. That's what we did this season. Yeah. That's what we said. Remember when we were 7 points or 10 points behind Ford? We were like, game to game. We won, next one. Don't look ahead. Because with this team, you cannot look ahead. You don't know what to expect from this team.
Well, and the problem was...
Really quickly, I don't want to make it about this, but the new deals, I keep saying it, that's also an issue. Like, look at Cuadrado, like Perisic. He was playing in his backyard, basically. That's how you play in your backyard. You can do whatever you want. Danilo, Cuadrado, it didn't make a difference. He was roasting them. And the club is like, new deals, long-term deals, bench players. They're on decline, these players. That's
good feels. Just good feels about these players. Just, good feelings.
Oh, they show some grinta, some vibes. Who cares? They're declining. All of them.
Yeah.
Our fullbacks are. I don't want to say shit on all these words, but they're horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared with the top level, not even the top level. Like compared to Milan, Inter, they're horrendous. They cannot run. It's actually insane. But I'm gonna say this. There are also positive things. Like we don't need to throw everything away. Yeah. But the pressure on Allegri next season because he's gonna stay. He's not gonna leave. I know people are gonna ask for the sack. And to be honest, if you look at the sack, he should have got this.
Well,
you should be getting the sack. But you sack them, you bring in Sarri, sack. Pirlo, sack. You're not gonna do it again. The club's not gonna do it again because it's a mess. They're gonna stick with him. It's on him. Next season, the pressure is on because no matter what happens, the expectation is you need to challenge next season. You need to challenge.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but he needs to challenge. That's the goal. Like next season, if you don't challenge and you have a season like this, there's no excuses.
The sad thing is the sad thing is like to me, just saying you need to challenge is pathetic almost. But that's where we are. It's
Yeah,
pathetic
that's where we are.
that I have to ask next year. Instead of my bar was originally, I mean, and maybe this will change over the summer. Maybe it'll change throughout this. We'll see what happens in the Mercado and for other teams as well. But going into this, I was saying you need to go in and win the Scudetto next season, and I still should have that expectation. But at the same time, now we're just kind of, yeah, I think you're right, though, in saying you need to challenge, which is sad because you're not challenging. You're not even looking like serious competition against an Inter squad that isn't going to win, more than likely isn't going to win the Scudetto. It's probably going to be Milan, but they both have difficult games that could play out. Who knows? It is what it is. But then also, like you said, there are some pieces there. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, whatever phrase you want to use there. But you got Vlahovic, you got Zakaria, Chiesa when he's healthy. Of course, I hope Chiesa looks like the Chiesa that he did under Pirlo, not the Chiesa that he looked like the first few months under Allegri, which didn't look good. But nobody looked good. And then you need to make sure you have midfield that can create something. Locatelli as well. Locatelli was kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to be too harsh on him, but at the same time, I felt like he was a disappointment this season. He was he was nothing that I expected him to be. I understand there's injuries there, other issues that pop up, but at the same time, all these guys have to step their game up. And they all need to come at it next season, ready to challenge. We'll see what happens. Chiellini's going to end up leaving. The defense, what happens with Delict, what happens with the other players around him as well.
We need a lot. Like, besides players, really quickly, besides players, the mentality needs to change because this mentality of this team stinks. Let's be honest. Like,
they're soft.
Like, you cannot do that in it. Like the way we started in the cup final, no way. I don't know if it's players, it's Allegri. I think it's a mixture of both. You come back, I'm like, great, you guys can do it. And then you can see the goal. I'm like, yeah, but like it's 10 minutes plus 30 minutes. Sure, like get together, see it out because you can do that. Like he does that, and it goes all to shit again. 3-2, still not done. Again, 4-2. So at the end of the day, you can bring in Milinkovic-Savic, Pogba, like name all these players. You need a system, you need stability, and we don't have that. I mean, and that's why Allegri was brought in, and that's a major concern moving forward. Like people know on the channel, I like Allegri, but starting from January, I was starting to ask questions. Even earlier, I'm like. No, and even today, like I asked the question, and people will say, "Oh, you defend the lake and all those things." I did not. Like when he made a mistake, I'm saying,
yeah.
Today he made a mistake, he messed up. You cannot do that. You cannot do that in that game. No way. He's a good defender.
He made a mistake. Game-ending mistake.
He made a game changer. Yeah, he made a game changer.
Yeah.
It's like Pagani against Villarreal, game changer.
Yeah.
And that's also a thing. The Villarreal game, penalty. Okay, 50 minutes to go. You need one goal. Collapse once again.
Yeah.
So it's a mentality issue within that team. Allegri, I don't know, but it's a mentality issue, and that needs to change before transfers. That's the biggest concern.
I mean,
the mentality of this team.
No, and I completely agree. There's definitely a lot that needs to go into there. Again, my problem is last season you look into it, and we were sitting basically in the same spot, except for we had 2 more trophies to add to the case. And that's where we are right now. One of the things that I'm frustrated with is we were sitting here in this exact spot saying, okay, we need to go get these pieces in the summer. We need to build off of there. We need to do this. We need to do that. Now I feel like we're in it's a bigger hole. It's a bigger hole than we were last year with the players that you need to replace and all that. And then you got Max Allegri, who my biggest problem, my biggest concern was I said last season, Pirlo came in and he was coaching, but he was learning on the job. Allegri is not learning on the job, but I still haven't seen any development. No development at all. I haven't seen a project that they're working to. Besides, the closest thing to any kind of like a project being developed was by Arriva Bene and Cherubini by going and buying Vlahovic and Zakaria. That was it. You added 2 players. That was about it. I mean, you got to see something. And no offense, I just don't think I agree with the injury thing. I understand it, but I just don't think you can stand on that all season.
No. That's no.
The squad overhaul should be made.
Played a part. Injuries, all these things. Ronaldo, all played a part. At the end of the day, Allegri made many.
Yeah.
Players make stupid errors. Like it's not like the leg doing that. That's not on Allegri. Sapsi making white. That's on Allegri. So there are things he cannot control, but a lot of things he can control, and he's not controlling well at the moment. And usually he was the master of controlling that, making subs to change games. He's changing games with his subs, but not for
Yeah.
us. Like most of the time now, he's changing it not in our favor. That's an issue. Again, we've seen what's coming from the bench. Locatelli great, but like he's never fit. Like that was, I couldn't believe he made that sub, because you can see the moment he stepped on that pitch, like
Yeah.
that was a useless sub. Like he was off the pace completely. He was making fouls, stupid fouls, just because he was too far of these players who were actually playing 90 minutes and still. Keane, like we know, like Arthur, who actually is, like knock on wood, I think he has no brain. Like he's actually horrendous. I don't know how many times he gave the ball away in that cameo. It was insane. And not
Yeah.
giving the ball away, like good try, just nowhere, no one near
Hmm.
the way, the the place he wants to put that ball. So that's also an issue. Like the quality is bad.
Arthur,
It's a big.
Arthur, when he plays out there, he looks kind of like, I don't want to say Make a Wish, but he looks like a guy like he looks like a guy like me gets to go play one. You win. It looks like he won a prize, and his prize is you get to go play a pretend game with a real team for one day, and that's what it is. And he can't hold on to a ball. He can't do anything with it. Morata infuriated me. It was in the after I think it was after that. After they got their third goal, Inter did,
Yeah.
and you went up. They went up 3-2, and Morata had some momentum, and then he just killed it. He literally ran away scared and lost the ball, and I didn't know. Like it was again, it's the same. I hate to just keep doing repeats and reruns on this friggin' channel, but it's the same bleep every single time. They're afraid to get in that final third, and they won't do it. And you have two guys down there ready to go, and I don't care if you lose it in an attacking pass, fine, but you just lost it literally standing there and trying to run backwards, and that's what we got stuck with. I don't know. Uh, when it comes to the actual game, I mean, there's other stuff we'll talk about. Obviously, there's and I use this loosely. There's two more games left. What we're gonna do for those games, they don't matter. Season's over today, but we'll still probably talk about it. We'll have stuff. I do. We're gonna obviously have like an end of season wrap up where we talk about the future and all that. And that's what I was kind of using a little bit of this for, just to kind of start prepping us for that. But at the same time, I mean, what did you take away today? I guess we usually do a best player, worst player, MVP, whatever.
No,
Nobody really
I'm
deserves MVP. What do you?
I'm not doing that today. Like
Nothing.
best player, no one. You lost that game. You lost the final
Yeah.
against Inter. Worst player, all of them. I don't care what you did on that pitch.
Mhm.
All of them. You lost. It's done. It wasn't a
Yeah.
good game at the end. At the end, over 120 minutes. It wasn't good. You lost. Screw
Yeah.
it. Season is over. Final.
Yeah, if it weren't for
Big
that,
miss.
if it weren't for that first goal, Alexander would have taken that running away. But because of that, then everybody else I think was on the same level. Uh, so it is what it is. Well, that's a season. Juventus finish off doing exactly what they've done all season. We pray, we hope, whatever it takes, that next season's different, that we see some kind of production, and that we get some good damn players in here that can actually have a winning, a culture of winning, a culture of working hard, of doing something when it comes to this team, and we'll see what happens, because the culture needs to change, and it needs to change fast. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, it's finally over. It's done. Like it's been a long season, and not just because we didn't win a trophy, because we won since 11-12. So at some point, you're not gonna win a trophy. Like that's not okay, but like it's gonna happen. Like it happened with even greater Juve teams. I'm not saying that. It's just the way we did it. It was
Yeah.
awful to watch. Horrendous. Like the Super Coppa, Alexandro messes up. Like at the last second today, we do the same thing. Like it's repetitive. That's the issue. It's finally over. We will do the previews for the Lazio and Fiorentina game.
Yeah.
It's just I think those are gonna just be vibe lives. Like I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna watch those games, but like, like it's just what it is. It's done. We have some good things coming up on the
Yeah.
channel for
Yeah, that's the one-
transfers and stuff. So that's something to look forward to. After maybe, if you don't get linked with Emerson and stuff, then it will be fun. If not, it's just gonna be
Emerson, Jorginho,
Copy-paste.
some yeah.
It's just gonna be copy paste from this season. Like we're gonna moan until until the season starts again.
Let me actually just say, guys, get hyped. The actual exciting part comes after the season's fully over. I'm not going to crap on this because I want you all to continue watching the channel and hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell icon, all that good stuff. But there's definitely going to be a lot of changes, a lot of good things, exciting things coming to the Beyond Canary Zone channel for you guys, especially look for this Mercado. I know things are going to hit off, especially once the Mercado comes. I know people are going to be excited to see what names we're actually getting, what
Really
players
quickly,
we're getting.
Chiellini said he's done. He said Monday is my last game at the stadium. I'm done. He's out. So
Wait, is
he's gonna play his last
after
home game.
Is he done after that one? He's not going to play the last one? Last one?
No, he's gonna play. I said he's gonna play his last home game on Monday against Netherlands.
Yeah. I mean, that's not surprising, given especially Roman Cresti kind of confirmed that as well. But it's still, it's an unfortunate way to see what I think is probably one of the three best players to me. Like I say, the Holy Trinity when it comes to Juventus athletes. He's right up there with them to me. So unfortunate to see him go out this way. But, best wishes to him, especially if he goes to either MLS. Hope I can see him over here. Or if not, hopefully he jumps into a good role with Juventus moving forward there. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for what we have here. If you haven't already, consider joining the member squad, what we do here on the channel. We have members. You get a lot of cool stuff. Let me throw it up there on there. You get loyalty badges. Basically, there's 3 tiers. There's club level, lounge level, premium. With all of them, you get the loyalty badges. You get the emojis. You get the Discord members chat. But then with the second level tier, the lounge, you get the monthly wallpaper, and then on the very top tier you get a 5 times giveaway priority opportunity to end up winning. So it's a really cool bonuses that you get there, all of it cheaper than a cup of coffee. But definitely you'll be wanting to join the member squad because all the things that we're going to do here with the lives, with the coverage of the Mercado, big changes are on the horizon for Juventus, and there's big changes on the horizon for us at the Beyond Canary Zone. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. It's only gonna get better from here. Please. Anyway, make sure you follow Beyond Canary Zone at Beyond Canary Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow my guy Alejandro on Twitter as well at Alejandro BZ, right? Yeah. And then follow me at Justin Sofro on there as well. We'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza